The second phase of Tarang Shakti, India's largest multinational air exercise, got underway in Jodhpur, Rajasthan.
Tarang Shakti!
Initially, Bangladesh was all set to participate with their C-130 aircrafts, but pulled out last minute owing to the country's recent turmoil that resulted in a new government. In their place, Sri Lanka has now stepped in with their own C-130 aircraft and officials. Hello there, you are watching Inside South Asia with me, Dasunia Powder, and here's what we have in store for you this week. It's been a month since Bangladesh's Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina was ousted and a new government came into power with massive changes afoot in the country. Going beyond political and economical change, the focus is now on geopolitics, with Pakistan looking to rebuild ties with Dhaka in the presence of a new government.
Pakistan's High Commission in Bangladesh is on overdrive these days. Just about a month after Sheikh Hasina's exit, Islamabad's man in Dhaka has held a flurry of meetings. From Chief Advisor Muhammad Yunus to advisors of Home Affairs and Agriculture, Social Welfare and Women and Child Affairs, and student leaders who are advisors to Bangladesh's interim government. Everything from bilateral cooperation to sports and culture, IT and flood relief are on the table. Extend that to Pak Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif dialing Professor Yunus, also a first. Sharif had written to Yunus expressing concern and condolence over the flood situation in Bangladesh. The reading is, with Hasina firmly out of the way, Pakistan eyes a bigger say in the scheme of things in Bangladesh. Pakistan-Bangladesh ties were lukewarm at best under the Hasina government after Islamabad refused to apologize for war crimes of 1971. That's history now.
In almost every meeting, he's reminding each of the interim government advisors that we must now settle the unresolved issues of 1971. So Pakistan has not forgotten 1971, that then when Bangladesh was liberated and became an independent country, they now perhaps want to go back to pre-1971.
The Pakistan High Commission in Dhaka has kept a low profile for nearly 2 decades as it backed candidates of the opposition BNP in the 2018 elections. Now, with nearly 100 cases against Sheikh Hasina, Begum Khalida Zia's BNP finds itself a political gainer and winds blowing its way.
6 million people are facing charges for these political reasons. It is unbelievable, but that has happened in Bangladesh. So you can understand the volume of atrocities, the volume of depoliticization, volume of eliminating BNP the government has done. So that is the thing that till then Bangladesh National Party is ready to face election anytime.
Looking back to pre-1971, when Bangladesh was East Pakistan, differences had peaked despite religio-cultural similarities on both sides. Is there an opportunity to change things now, and does India need to be wary?
Yes, India should definitely be very wary and definitely be aware of what Pakistan will be trying to do. And then we have to plan measures of how to prevent this from happening. And I think that Pakistan will definitely try and shift the onus of its attacks on India through Bangladesh. More clearly, we have to explain to the interim government in Bangladesh India's security red lines, India's concerns, and make sure that they abide by India's sensitivities and concerns on this.
Afghanistan's chief, Hibatullah Akhundzada, has once again turned a deaf ear onto growing calls of protecting women's rights in Afghanistan. Hibatullah recently introduced a sweeping set of laws that further constrict women in the country. However, it appears that the women are protesting and coming out to voice their dissent. Here's more.
My voice is not tempting, it's your ears that seek temptation, they sing. No to the Taliban, no to terrorists. A woman's voice is not something to be hidden. They rip up pictures of Taliban Supreme Leader Hibatullah Akhundzada to reveal a logo of their own campaign, Free People Movement in Exile. Videos like this one are making a mark on social media in Afghanistan. Hashtag My Voice is Not Forbidden trends. The morality law, known as the Promotion of Virtue and Prevention of Vice, was officially announced last month. Women's faces, bodies and voices, it says, should be covered outside the home. That's among 35 articles dictating behavior and lifestyle. Interacting with non-family members of the opposite sex or possessing personal photos is punishable. Violations can result in beatings, threats, fines and detention monitored by the morality police. While many restrictions have been informally enforced since the Taliban's return to power, the formal codification of these rules will lead to even stricter enforcement. The misogynist, archaic, barbaric Taliban rule of zero rights for women goes back in its latest avatar to their return to power in 2021, though their origin goes back decades. No school or education, no working, no leaving home without a male chaperone, no access to healthcare delivered by men, no politics or speaking publicly. Supreme Leader, the reclusive Hibatullah Akhundzada, who rules by decree, now wants it all official, pushing the country further into the abyss of male chauvinism and tyranny. Covered in black, almost scared to show her face, she cries out, saying she's been imprisoned for the crime of being a woman. In New Afghanistan, the most basic freedom rights are bruised and battered. Can their voice bring hope?
With just about 2 weeks to go for Sri Lanka's all-important presidential election, this week we take a look at the manifestos of the top candidates and a dive into their key promises and priorities. We also take a look at what this election might hold for the country and its impact on the Emerald Isle.
Sri Lankan presidential election month is here. Battle lines drawn, stage set. 38 candidates are vying for the top spots. Sri Lanka heads to the hustings on the 21st of September. Postal voting is underway with over 700,000 state sector employees eligible to cast their ballot. A second postal vote window has been set aside for the 11th and the 12th. It's the first election after the 2022 economic crisis spurred widespread unrest. And it's being monitored by many locally and internationally. EU observers are already on the ground. Incumbent President Ranil Wickremesinghe, who took the mantle during the 2022 economic crisis, is looking for another term. His manifesto, titled 5 Years of Winning the Country with Ranil, focuses on a five-fold plan. One Theravada trade economy, promoting a Buddhism-inspired economic system that blends traditional values with modern trade practices. Operation Beyond 2025, a strategic plan aiming to position Sri Lanka as a key player in global trade by leveraging technology and innovation. A radiant society emphasizing social reforms to uplift marginalized communities and improve social welfare systems. Win the Motherland, a patriotic call to restore national pride through sustainable development and reduced dependency on foreign aid. Unite Sri Lanka, aimed at fostering national unity across ethnic and religious divides, especially by addressing grievances in the northern and eastern provinces. Anurakumara Disanayake of the National People's Power, or the NPP movement, has presented a manifesto that strongly advocates systemic change that focuses on cleaning up a corrupt system, economic restructuring, and environmental sustainability. Opposition leader Sajith Premadasa is also in contention. His manifesto focuses on inclusivity and economic recovery. Premadasa has pledged to slash income tax that was doubled by Wickremesinghe. In an interesting last-minute nomination, the son of former President Mahinda Rajapaksha, Namal Rajapaksha, is also eyeing the chair. Namal Rajapaksha, known for his focus on youth and technology, has outlined a manifesto that emphasizes leveraging digital literacy to create jobs and modernize education. His vision includes continued infrastructure development, particularly in rural areas, and promoting economic nationalism to prioritize local industries. Sri Lanka is still negotiating with internal bondholders after defaulting on its $46 billion foreign debt in 2022, a year when the economy shrunk by 7.3%. Will all these promises move voters to shift allegiances, or are manifestos merely paper tigers? Come the 21st of September, 17 million eligible voters will seal the fate of 38 candidates, and more importantly, a nation's road ahead.
Floods have wreaked havoc in South India's states of Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, and from its impact, rescue, to its aftermath, we take a look at how these two states battled nature's fury.
మొన్న నైట్ చిక్కుకుపోతే ఇప్పుడు దాకా కనీసం ఫుడ్ గానీ వాటర్ గానీ అసలు ఇవ్వలేదు.
कोई भी हम लोग के लिए लेके आना जाना कुछ भी नहीं कर रहा, पूरा आदमी फंसा हुआ है, बोट बहुत कम है.
Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, the two southern Indian states, are reeling under the impact of devastating floods, with torrential rains wreaking havoc across several regions, inundating cities and rural areas. Racing against time, the National Disaster Response Force and state rescue agencies reached out to people trapped in flood-hit areas. The Indian Air Force said Monday it had flown in more than 200 rescue officers and 30 tons of emergency aid to several areas. Look at these visuals from Andhra Pradesh's Vijayawada that experienced the worst flooding in 2 decades, with the Budameru River flooding 40% of the city. Hundreds of residents were stranded after several localities were swamped with flash floods triggered by heavy rains.
My parents are stranded. They are stuck at home because of the floods for the last 2 days. There is no food or water for them. The rescue teams and the police personnel are not able to reach them. Nobody is able to help them. I have tried calling so many people, but nobody is helping us.
The whole locality is inundated and everybody is stranded. There is no electricity, no drinking water, milk or other basic groceries available. There is no one to help us. People are stranded with very few boats to rescue them.
Here is another picture that tells you the intensity of these floods. Around 300 cars, some of which were brand new and under servicing, were submerged. Rescue teams were deployed in the region on inflatable boats. 6 helicopters and drones were deployed in Vijayawada to distribute food and medicines to those affected. On a visit to flood-hit and flood-prone areas, Andhra Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu assured all support to the victims. Heavy rains have also wreaked havoc in Telangana, killing many. In a tragic incident, a father-daughter duo from Khammam district was swept away by flash floods while en route to Hyderabad airport. In another incident in the same district, 9 people were stranded on a bridge with river flowing dangerously above the danger mark. In a dramatic rescue operation, a man from Haryana, Shubhan Khan, used the JCB vehicle to bring those people to safety. In Telangana, drones were used to send essential supplies and other items across floodwaters. Preliminary estimates point at damage worth 5,000 crores or $595 million due to the floods. Telangana's Chief Minister Revanth Reddy urged the central government to declare the floods a natural calamity. He has also requested assistance of 2,000 crores or $238 million. Floods in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh also hit the railway network. At least 438 trains were cancelled and 100 diverted. Restoration of damaged railway tracks is now a daunting task. Gujarat state in the west and Manipur and Tripura in the northeast had gone through a similar nightmare just last week. India's Met Office has forecast an extended monsoon and above normal rains in September. This is the month when the crops are in the harvesting stage. Flooding in some states and scanty showers in others raise huge concerns on farm output. Rain havoc and damage is no new phenomenon. It's the increasing frequency of such extreme weather events blamed on climate change that's raising fears of worse to come.
Let's now take a look at a few of the stories that have made headlines in the region on our Inside South Asia wrap.
An exuberant welcome by Nepalis to the country's first ever Paralympic medalist. 21-year-old taekwondo star Palesha Govardhan won bronze at the 2024 Paralympics in Paris. The first podium place in history for the Himalayan nation, which has also never won a medal at the Olympics. Govardhan was born with a congenital limb deficiency on her left hand. She took up martial arts at school when she was 10 years old. A suicide bomb attack in Afghanistan's capital Kabul on the 2nd of September killed 6 people and injured 13. The attack took place in the Kala-e-Bakhtiar area of Kabul's southern outskirts. A suicide bomber triggered multiple explosives in a public area. There was no immediate claim to responsibility for the attack. Several terror groups remain active in Afghanistan as violence continues across the country after the 2021 Taliban takeover. Thousands of people broke into the building, looted and vandalized property as the first thrift store opened in Pakistan's Karachi. Several videos of the incident capturing the crowd forcefully entering the premises have gone viral on social media. The store had announced low prices on clothing, home essentials and accessories. Things went out of control when massive crowds turned out at the mall and the management failed to control the situation.
And that's all we have on our show for you this week. Before we leave, take a look at the 65th anniversary of the Tibetan uprising in Dharamsala. For the WION team, I'm Dasuni Athalda, and I will see you next week.
Today is a very special, good day for Tibetan people. The 1961 His Holiness Dalai Lama have declared the democracy system, started some member of parliament from the different region of Tibet, and then set up the democracy parliament system.